2 years ago, I was the perfect definition of a Henry, a high earner, not rich yet. My financial operating system was completely broken by society. I had a near six-figure salary and lived in a luxury downtown apartment. Yet every single month, my savings account sat at a haunting zero. The modern world is designed to make spending invisible. Digital wallets, auto-pays, and one-click buys turned my hard-earned wealth into a disappearing act of convenience. I realized that flashy Western banking apps weren't coming to save me. I didn't need a new budget. I needed a total recalibration of my soul. My brain was addicted to the dopamine hit of newness. I was trapped in a cycle of conspicuous consumption, buying things just to be seen. I looked at the city below and felt empty. All this movement, all this noise, and yet I was standing on a foundation of shifting sand. That's when I turned to the east. Not for a quick fix, but for an ancient operating system that has survived centuries of economic change. Japanese philosophy doesn't view money as a math problem. It views it as a reflection of your character and your connection to the physical world. I found 10 ancient principles that are far more effective than any modern financial formula. They represent the path to Tsutsumashi, the quiet wealth. This isn't about being poor or suffering. It's about the ultimate liberation from the pressure of the crowd. It is about reclaiming your financial freedom. The West tells you to buy now and pay later, hiding the pain of spending. Japan teaches the opposite. Embrace the friction of every transaction. We are taught that our value is determined by what others can see. A new car, a limited edition watch, or a designer handbag. But Tsutsumashi values financial restraint as a supreme virtue. It is the art of being wealthy in secret, finding power in what you don't show. Conspicuous consumption is a trap that keeps you working a job you hate to impress people you don't like. It's a race with no finish. True wealth is silent. It doesn't need to bark for attention. When you master your money, you don't need the validation of a flashing logo. I began to realize that my spending was just a mask for my insecurities. I was trying to fill a spiritual hole with plastic goods. Frictionless spending removes the psychological weight of money. We tap a phone, and wealth disappears without us even feeling the loss of its value. The Japanese way forces you to pause. It creates a physical barrier between your impulse and your action, giving your wisdom a chance to speak. This is the battle between two worlds. One wants your attention and your debt. The other offers you peace and a lasting, sustainable fortune. To fix my bank account, I had to fix my mind. Let's break down the 3 modules of this ancient financial operating system upgrade. Module 1 is about reintroducing friction. Kakeibo is the traditional Japanese budget journal. It's not an app. It is a physical, handwritten commitment. Writing your expenses by hand forces your brain to process the pain of paying. It turns a mindless digital tap into a conscious financial decision. Next is Mottainai, the philosophy of anti-waste. It's the realization that everything has a spirit, and discarding it prematurely is a form of disrespect. The average household throws away 30% of their food. Mottainai reminds us that saving money starts with respecting what we already possess. This leads to Wabi-Sabi, finding beauty in the imperfect. We often upgrade our phones or cars because of a single scratch or a slight aging. Wabi-Sabi cures the upgrade addiction. It teaches us that age and wear add value and character, making new purchases unnecessary for our happiness. By valuing what is old, we stop the constant outflow of cash toward the new. We find contentment in the items that journey with us. Module 2 is about freeing your mental cache. Danshari is more than decluttering. It is the refusal and letting go of unnecessary attachments. We are bled dry by ghost subscriptions. Danshari is the courage to cut the digital tethers that drain our accounts without providing any real value. Then comes Oubaitori, the concept that every flower blooms in its own time. This is the ultimate defense against the poison of social comparison. Stop comparing your financial chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your journey is yours alone. Their highlights are not your reality or benchmarks. Shikita teaches us about natural cycles. There are seasons for accumulation and seasons for restraint. Forcing growth out of season only leads to debt. Accepting the cycles of your life allows you to save during the harvest so you can survive the winter without fear or desperate borrowing. Module 3 is about sustainable performance. Kaizen means 1% improvement. Don't try to cut your spending by half overnight. You will only fail. If you increase your savings rate by just 1% every month, your brain won't panic. Small, invisible changes lead to massive, visible, long-term wealth. Then find your Ikigai, your reason for being. When your money is tied to a deep life purpose, spending on trivial items feels like a distraction. Luxury brands lose their power when you have a mission. Your Ikigai becomes the North Star that guides your capital toward things that truly matter. Chisoku is the art of knowing what is enough. It is the only true brake system for lifestyle creep, the silent killer of high earners. If you don't define enough, you will always be poor, no matter how much you earn. Chisoku is the gatekeeper of your lasting financial peace. Finally, Gammon, resilient patience. It is the ability to endure the temporary desire for a reward in order to protect a much greater future. Gammon is the muscle of your will. It allows you to say no to a temporary impulse, so you can say yes to a lifetime of freedom. These 10 principles aren't just tips, they are the code for a new life. They transform money from a source of stress into a tool. When these modules are installed, your lifestyle begins to simplify, while your net worth begins to multiply. The friction becomes your greatest financial ally. You start to see the world differently. You see marketing for what it is, a distraction. You see your bank account as a reservoir of potential. This is the shift from a consumer to a curator. You no longer just buy things. You carefully select the elements of your life's journey. The weight of the world's expectations falls off your shoulders. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are building for your own future. This is how you beat the modern financial system. Not by playing their game better, but by choosing to play a completely different, ancient game. Wealth isn't about the noise you make. It's about the silence you can afford. It's about the peace of mind that comes from true control. There is a scientific reason why most budgets fail. When you cut spending too drastically, your amygdala triggers a survival response, leading to revenge spending. Big tech and banks spend billions to hack your biology. They want you in a state of constant, low-level panic, so you'll seek comfort through purchasing. By using Kaizen, small, incremental shifts, you fly under your brain's survival radar. You build wealth without triggering the biological urge to self-sabotage your own progress. This is Chokin, saving before you spend. By automating your growth, you remove the decision-making fatigue that usually leads to poor financial choices at night. After 20 years, the difference isn't just a few $1,000s. It's the difference between a life of chronic anxiety and a life of total freedom. Modern finance is about the sprint. Japanese philosophy is about the forest. One is exhausted after a mile. The other lasts for 1,000 years. When you stop leaking money into the pockets of corporations, you allow the miracle of compounding to work for your family instead of their shareholders. You aren't just saving money, you are buying back your time. You are buying the right to say no to anything that doesn't serve your soul. Wealth starts with a single, symbolic action. Uninstall the apps that hunt your attention. Break the link between your boredom and your bank account balance. Take back the friction. Pick up a pen. Write down your intentions. The road to Tsutsumashi is open to anyone with the courage to be quiet. Quiet wealth begins with a quiet mind. You don't need a Wall Street salary, you just need a new operating system. Are you ready to install? The race is over if you choose to stop running. Start your journey into the quiet wealth today. Thank you for walking this path with me.